Right now, let's turn to your top story. We're hearing from the lead prosecutor in the murder trial of the former beauty pageant queen, Trinity Poague. Boy, that's a mouthful. She broke down sobbing in the courtroom after she learned her fate. Let's take a look together now.
The verdict reads as follows as to each count. On count one, it says, "We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty." On counts 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the verdict reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of felony murder, 2 counts, aggravated battery, 2 counts, and cruelty to child in the first degree."
Poague received a life sentence with a possibility of parole after 30 years for the murder of little JD, his legal name Romeo Angeles. Here to talk about that guilty verdict and the aftermath, let's bring in our very special guest this morning. The lead prosecutor on the case is with us, Louis Bud Lamb. Good morning to you, Bud. Thank you so much for being on the program, and congratulations on the win. You were excellent in the courtroom.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, well, we appreciate you. Take us kind of behind the scenes, if you would, please. We know what happened through the trial because we watched every second of it. It was gripping. And not an easy case for you either. There are always some things that can't come into evidence that you know about or theorize about that the jury just can't. Would you kind of take us behind the scenes into some of that information that had to be excluded, please, Bud?
Well, there was a lot of information concerning Ms. Poague that did not that didn't come into evidence that we had available, I suppose, and some of it was things that I don't know would necessarily have been admissible. A lot of it was stuff that we chose not to use. I had 2 long interviews with her that she had done with the GBI, and I chose not to put those in unless she testified. I was, I guess, like every prosecutor, sort of hoping that she would testify because I had a lot to cover on cross-examination, I'll say it that way.
Oh, yeah, tell us more.
She gave probably 5 different stories at one time or another. Her final, sort of the final version of her alibi, I guess, was that the child rolled off of the air mattress sometime, and then later that night fell off of the bed, and then the next morning fell off of the chair. So every possible, hypothesis that she had offered at any time, she blended them all together ultimately into a single story. What she never did was point any fingers at the father of the child. I mean, he wasn't involved in any way in the injuries to the child, accidentally or otherwise, and I think that she knew that because of the timing of it, that there was no way that she was going to be able to successfully do that, and so she didn't attempt to.
Interesting. Let's unpack that a little further, please, Bud, because we saw her defense team hint at the baby's father being the problem, and then once he got on the stand and you were able to unpack everything with him, we could see that he was trying the best he could. Was it perfect? No, but he was trying. How carefully did you vet him initially when you first got the case, first look, just to make sure that you had the right defendant?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, as I said during the trial, he sat through the first 8 hours after he found out that the child had died. He spent 4 of the next 8 hours being interviewed by the GBI and sitting in a police station in between. He went straight from the hospital to the police station, which is where he remained until after 1 o'clock in the morning. They went after him as hard as they went after her in the initial round of interviews. But of course, he was insistent that he wasn't there, and that he had left, and that everything was okay when he left. And then, as they started seeing these, there were lots of videos and photographs, pictures that had been taken that night, at one time or another. There was, of course, all of which, let me back up, all of which showed the child in good health, without any bruising, without any marks on his face, without any without any symptoms of any type of injury whatsoever. So I don't think there was ever really a question as to whether or not he had or could have done something to the child in advance of the time frame that we contended the injuries occurred in. And I mean, there was nothing at all that would indicate that was even a possibility. Then, of course, with a video from Georgia Southwestern, we were able to confirm that he, in fact, had done exactly what he said he did. I mean, what time he left, what time he got back, his actions after getting back. And so ultimately, it became clear that he was not involved at all.
Right, right.
Which left only one person.
Right. You got the right defendant. That's for sure, Bud. Let's talk a little bit more about how she may have killed baby JD. What's your theory as to what exactly she did in that dorm room?
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone will ever know exactly what happened, but I mean, what I think happened, and what makes the most sense in light of all of the evidence that we had, is that this child was crying, this child was upset once the father had left, that she couldn't get him to be quiet, that she, I can't tell you that she slapped him, that she did whatever, but there was a mark on his face, as the medical examiner testified, that was fresh, that was very compatible with either this kind of a grip that was, so hard that it left a bruise here, or a slap across the face, and then the injury at the base of the skull. There were other bruises on the head, and there was also internal injuries in the abdomen. His liver was lacerated. His adrenal gland was lacerated. There was bleeding around his lungs and around his ribs. And I think that throwing the child against something, picking him up, the medical examiner hypothesized that he might have been picked up, by his shoulders like this, and slammed down really hard against a desk, against a bed. And there's no way to know what object was used, because there weren't any external injuries. So there was no bleeding. There was nothing that anybody could see with their eyes.
Sure.
But I think that's what happened. She just simply lost it. I mean, she didn't like the child, and for whatever reason, she didn't like the child. She had made that clear. And I think that when somebody doesn't like a kid, it becomes very easy to lose your patience. And I think that's exactly what happened. She just lost it, and once she flipped out, there was nothing sane about the approach, about the injuries or the process she went through.
No, just awful, just awful. Well, this was a tough case to try. It's really hard to try a baby death case. It's awful. It really takes special people to do it, and you are one of those very special people. Prosecuting Attorney Lewis Bud Lamb, thank you so much for your time this morning. We'd love to have you back on Court TV. Maybe you'll come on analyze another case for us when there's no pressure, you're not in the courtroom, not trying the case. We'll just have you on to look at another one. That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Be happy to do it. Thank you. Take care.
Good care.
Goodbye.